Hello and welcome to your Club Everton Daily. The date is Saturday, the 28th of January 2012. Feels like a Sunday for some reason. Can't put my finger on it. Anyway, we've got some news of our own to get into before we actually get into the news segments. And that bit is that the 15-minute time limit no longer applies. Yeah, we got a message from YouTube yesterday after we posted yesterday's daily, basically saying that we no longer have to adhere to the 15-minute maximum. So these dailies can go as long as we want them to. And we're giving you an extended version of the dailies to celebrate that fact today. So, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's been brought to my attention that some of you aren't aware of what these segments are and why they're named as such. So I'll just go over that briefly before we continue. Obviously some of them are self-explanatory. The news, transfer gossip and whatnot. We did in the introduction video when we first started doing the dailies, like list them all, so I recommend that you go down and watch that. I think it's the second video that we posted on the channel. Well, anyway, if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll find it there, and obviously you don't need the link to the YouTube channel because you're on the YouTube channel if you're watching this video. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, just click the YouTube button on the video and that'll take you to the page where the video is hosted and you'll be able to get the channel from there. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, enough of that. What's coming up today? We're going to do the news as ever. We've got transfer gossip. There is still a little bit of silly season left to go. To celebrate the fact that we can go longer than 15 minutes, Dear John Letters makes its return, and we're going back in time to the letter that gave that segment its name. And finally, our article of interest from when Saturday comes online is Ayrshires bitter derby reaches Hampden. Alright, so let's get underway then, and we'll start with the news. And the first one is from the post-match from last night's Fulham game. Landon Donovan paid tribute to Des Strachwilesi after the Argentine helped fire Everton past Fulham and into the fifth round of the FA Cup. Strachwilesi was making only his third start since joining the Blues on loan from Tigres. Met Donovan's delectable cross to head in a first half equaliser, and Donovan set up the winning goal as well with another cross which Marouane Fellaini got his head onto. Donovan paid tribute to Strachwilesi, but what we're going to do is pay tribute to Donovan. He was by far and away man of the match yesterday with an absolutely amazing performance. And I made a note to mention on the forum last night as well, after the game, that we're going to struggle without him, to be honest, because he's just shown the impact he's capable of making, and at the moment he's the only player at the squad who's proved that he's capable of making that impact this season. So that's something to ponder. Not a nice thing to ponder after that. Alright, so moving on. The Blue Union had their strategy meeting this week. Had it on the same day that Liverpool played Man City in the Carling Cup. And the Blue Union have agreed on a plan of action which is designed to bring maximum media attention to their cause, and to give the supporters the opportunity to vent their frustrations at the intransigence, I know I pronounced that wrong, of a board that refuses to listen to an ever-growing number of their fans. They're going to be conducting a mass leaflet campaign at the Chelsea match on February the 11th, and they're going to be demonstrating outside Radio City on the same day in protest of the radio station's policy of refusing to field questions about the Blue Union while Graham Sharp is on the programme. However, the main event is going to be a day of protest in and around Goodison Park on the 10th of March, which is the day we play Tottenham Hotspur. It's going to be an aerial protest before the game, a mass demonstration outside the ground. They're going to be leafleting Matteo and Evertonians depicting strategic points before and after the match. These activities are going to be filmed and transmitted live over the internet, and the whole event will be preceded by a conventional media and an internet social media campaign to highlight the reasons behind the day's events and bring attention to the individual directors' performances while running our club. If you want further details, a link to the Blue Union's press statement in full is going to be in the description to this video. So that's the news for today. So we'll move on to the transfer gossip. Again, as always, the source and the story. The Guardian notes that QPR hope to sign former Red Stripe forward Dibio Cisse from Lazio. 30-year-old Frenchman will cost £4 million, although he might be joining on loan. Inside Football reports that Lille striker Eden Hazard has admitted that Carlo Ancelotti's presence at Paris Saint-Germain is drawing him towards the French club. Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United have all been linked with the 21-year-olds. Talkshite reports that Everton are closing in on former Tottenham striker Monir El Hamdaoui. I know I pronounced that wrong. 27-year-old Moroccan could move to Goodison Park on loan before sealing a permanent move for £5 million in the summer. The Metro reports that Fulham attacker Clint Dempsey has alerted Arsenal and a host of Premier League clubs after the 28-year-old admitted that his ambition is to play in the Champions League. Talkshite reports that Edinson Cavani's agent has played down talk of a stunning late switch to Man City. It's been suggested in the Italian media that Napoli are bracing themselves for a late move for their 24-year-old Uruguayan striker. The Mirror reports that Bolton have made a £5 million bid for Crystal Palace's England under-21 attacker Wilfried Zaha for face competition from Newcastle and Stoke. The Racist reports that Swansea are rivaling Newcastle in the battle for Watford defender Adrien Mariappa, 24 years old. Bolton News reports that Owen Coyle does not want to lose Bolton club captain Kevin Davies amid interest from Sunderland, Wolves and West Brom. Sunderland Echo reports that Sunderland are considering a bid for unsettled Besiktas target man Hugo Almeida, who is rated at £3 million. Caught Offside reports that Man United could make a shock move for Michael Ballack after Bayer Leverkusen indicated that the 35-year-old could be available. Birmingham Mail reports that Ben Foster, West Brom's goalkeeper, believes the former Birmingham teammate Liam Ridgewell will be a fantastic signing. Albion have had 2 offers for a 27-year-old defender turned down. ITV reports that West Brom are hopeful of signing St Petersburg Hungary winger Zabolek Hushdi. I know it's about pronounced that wrong as well. On loan for the remainder of the season with a view to a permanent deal in the summer. Sky Sports reports that Blackpool are lining up a season-long loan move for West Brom's Czech Republic striker Roman Bednar, 28 years old. In other news, and this is the ultimate irony, Daily Racist reports that Liverpool striker Luis Suarez is taking extra English lessons to avoid a repeat of his ban for racially abusing Man United defender Patrice Evra. The Racist also reports that Arsenal fear that Jack Wilshere will miss the rest of the season after suffering a setback in his return from an ankle injury, and the news could mean the midfielder misses Euro 2012. However, Gunners boss Arsene Wenger believes that Wilshere can still make the competition. That's according to the Mirror. Mirror also reports that Alan Pardew is willing to rest players in the league matches so that they're fit to make a run at winning the FA Cup. That makes no sense at all. Newcastle are still in with a shot at making Europe through the league. So basically they're just admitting they've got no chance of qualifying for Europe through the league and they won it. Sorry, that's moving on. Swansea manager Brendan Rodgers is set to sign a new 3-year contract at the club according to the South Wales Evening Post, the England Post. What the fuck? And finally, there's only one, it's from the cunt rag. Wayne Rooney, James Milner, Theo Walcott and Petr Cech are to make guest appearances in the computer game Tiger Woods PGA Tour 13. Why? I don't know. Anyway, that's it for the transfer gossip. Right, so now it's time for the grand return of Dear John letters, a light-hearted look at the idiocy across the park. And seeing as people have been asking what are for these segments mean, Dear John letters refers to the fact that basically whenever anything happens at Liverpool that the sheep are unhappy with, they'll immediately go and email John W. Henry, the owner of the club, and register their displeasure. And I've seen this range from, you know, stuff like, I'm sick of seeing this formation being played or whatnot, even to the utterly ridiculous, such as one of the kiosks in the Upper Anfield Road and the Coke was flat. And yes, I have seen people email that. I did used to work in Anfield. Anyway, this was the one that started it all. This was actually published on Red and White Cop, a message to John W. Henry. And this is what sparked the whole thing of messaging him, so this is where the segment came from. This was written by Red and White Cop as a collective. Again, I've not read this in advance, so the reactions are genuine. This was dated December 30th, 2010. Dear John, you said yourself recently there have been many poor short-term decisions taken at this football club in the recent past. You don't say. Like Statler and Waldorf actually being there in the first place. This is gone back to the letter. This is undoubtedly true. One of them was the appointment of Roy Hodgson as Liverpool manager. In all his 35 years of management, there's absolutely no evidence that he has the experience required to manage a club of the stature of Liverpool Football Club. Does he not realise just how contradictory that sentence is? 35 years management, he has no experience to manage Liverpool Football Club. Well, he's been a professional manager for 35 years, I think that's experience enough, don't you? Despite this, for 6 months the site has supported him as best as we could, and we did not want to exacerbate a problem not of your making. We were happy to trust your judgment to allow you to get your feet under your desk and to appoint a management team and to make the right decision on the manager when you're ready. Get your feet under the desk and appoint a management team when you're ready. Fucking hell. There's absolutely no patience at all with this lot, is there? Absolutely fucking none. We were hoping that in return Roy just might prove capable of limiting the long-term damage to the club during that time. Well, in fairness, he didn't do that bad a job considering the circumstances he was dealt. I mean, the club weren't saved from Statler and Waldorf until after the transfer window closed. There wasn't really much that he could do about it, was there? Unfortunately, that kind of logic just escapes most Liverpool fans, as we find out as we continue reading. Fortunately, it's clear from events so far this season, culminating in the inept display last night, so whoever they played on December 29th last season, that the consequences of keeping Roy Hodgson in place are now so pressing and immediate, and decisive action is required from Fenway. Yes. His position at the club is no longer tenable. He appears to have lost the ability to motivate the team, a team of internationals and World Cup winners. I do love the bloody fronts of this, a team of internationals and World Cup winners. At the time this article came out, 2 of them were World Cup winners, and that was Pepe Reina, who barely featured, in fact who didn't feature at all in that World Cup campaign, and Fernando Torres, who featured but did next to nothing. So, going to great lengths to try and class them as World Cup winners. Going by that logic, bloody hell, I guess bloody Stoke City have World Cup winners amongst them. They certainly lost the backing of the Anfield crowd, with 40,000 openly showing their derision at his inept tactics. Again, I'm looking forward to when we get to the end of this piece, because just the irony of what's going on is just ridiculous. The bond between Liverpool fans and their managers is strong, stronger than that of any club in the world. Yes, Liverpool FC are better than everyone ever, full stop. Did you not know that? And in normal circumstances it would be unthinkable to see the crowd turn on the manager as he did last night. If there was ever any coming back from that for Mr. Hodgson, he closed that door himself in his post-match interview where he criticised the support of those same fans. Right, so basically what you're asking is for you to just openly and vehemently slag off, out of turn by the way, as we'll get to at the end, your manager. I expect him to just keep his gob shut and get on with the job. I'm sorry, but again, you got to take into account the squad he had at the time as well. I mean, aside from Pepe Reina, there was no one in that Liverpool squad at that time who was really capable of putting out a, you know, completely spellbinding performance. And let's look at it. Torres was underperforming. He was basically trying to engineer himself a move out. He'd hardly made any impactful signings during the summer transfer window, and they were basically just left with an aging squad that was running out of tactics and that was running out of ideas. Excuse me. That was mostly down to the squad that he inherited. It wasn't really down to his tactics. He tried his best with what he had. What he had just wasn't good enough, and this lot just can't fucking accept that. Right, well, anyway, the article continues. Sorry, but those fans will be standing on the cop supporting this team long after Roy Hodgson is gone. And they were supporting the club in only the way they know how, defending it from a man who was corroding it from the inside. Oh, fucking hell. There's only one paragraph left. I can't wait to make this point. We wholeheartedly agree with your strategy of concentrating on what is for the best long-term interest of Liverpool FC, even if it's at the expense of short-term popularity. We now believe, however, it has reached a tipping point, and that Roy Hodgson's continued presence in the dugout is now detrimental to the long-term future of this club, as well as our immediate future in this league season. Right, well, that's the full thing, but the main point is, all this slagging off, all this derision of Roy Hodgson and his tactics and his abilities. The same time period that Roy Hodgson was in charge, this season, from like the start of the season up to the point where he was sat last season, Kenny Dalglish was only 3 points better off, and he spent a shitload more money than Roy Hodgson was able to spend. Just let that sink in. They're only 3 points better off after spending what? Over at least £55 million more than what Hodgson got to spend during his time. But why is that not as apparent? Because it's their hero, that's why. Because it's Kenny Dalglish and he can get away with fucking murder. They're only 3 points better off. So because the league on the whole has been more unpredictable and more gone towards shock results, they're not in the same position they were in last season when they run out of patience with Roy. Excuse me. It's just the epicenter of world hypocrisy is Anfield Road. Right, well, anyway, I've spent enough time on that. So let's move on to our article of interest, which is going to close off today's daily. Ayrshire's bitter derby reaches Hampden. This is from when Saturday comes online and written by Alex Anderson. Does sound like a made-up name, that. Today, there will be a new addition to the long list of derbies played out at Hampden Park. For the first time in a century of private enmity, Kilmarnock and Ayr United will meet in the semi-finals of the major cup competition. Scotland versus England, Rangers versus Celtic and Hibs versus Hearts may garner more media hype when they slug it out at the National Stadium, but the Ayrshire derby won't disappoint the Sunday Mail sub-editors. There's plenty of animosity here. Kilmarnock sit mid-table in the SPL, while Ayr occupy a relegation playoff spot in the second tier. But history shows this is no mismatch. Form suggests that Killie have more to fear. It's been quite a season for one of Scotland's least publicised football hotspots. Both teams are in the last 16 of the Scottish Cup, and the juniors side, Auchinleck Talbot, were a dodgy decision away from earning a replay against Hearts. It'd be unfair to say that Ayrshire is the most famous throughout the world as the county of Bill Shankly's birth, or the only place that in Britain that Elvis ever visited. Kilmarnock are one of only 10 extant clubs to be champions of Scotland. And in '66, the Real Madrid of Ferenc Puskas and Alfredo Di Stefano were held to a draw when the Old European Cup graced Rugby Park. The following season, Killie lost to Leeds United in the First Cup semi-finals, preventing Scotland from becoming the first country to provide finalists in all three European club competitions in one season. However, this area of South West Scotland garners more football fame for the trivia of interest from the trivia of interesting names. Shankly's national playing career involved the long-defunct Glenbuck Cherry Pickers, and Rugby Park was up there with the baseball and city grounds for playground stadia quizzes. Proximity to Glasgow and the Old Firm is of course the main draw of Ayrshire's standing as a senior football region, but the draw of the junior game is felt more passionately here than anywhere else in Scotland. Many of the former mining communities of South and East Ayrshire complained the senior game drains the more sociable local football culture. Auchinleck Talbot, again a beautiful name, are the most successful club in the history of Scottish Junior Cup. As holders, they travelled to Tynecastle earlier this month to take on Hearts in the senior version. Around 2,000 Talbot fans watched as a wrongly disallowed goal prevented them from taking Scotland's third largest club back to Beechwood Park. 2 years previously, North Ayrshire's Irvine Meadow 11 lost 3-0 across the city of Hibs, taking 3,000 fans to Easter Road. Hibs were knocked out by Division 2's Ayr United last season, 4 decades younger than Kilmarnock, and playing at a stadium with terracing on 3 sides as opposed to Killy's all-season international venue. Ayr have never won a major domestic trophy. But this season they've eliminated St Mirren, Inverness and Hearts in the League Cup en route to Saturday's semi-final at Hampton. Ayr have only reached one major national final before. In 2002 they lost the League Cup final 4-0 to Rangers. That game came a year after Kilmarnock had lost the same final to Celtic. Ayr did it as a Division 1 club and obtained a reputation as a cup team, despite never having lifted any major silverware. Everyone knows Scotland were the first team to beat England after they won the World Cup, and a lot of us know that Rangers were the first team to beat Celtic after they won the European Cup. What matters this weekend is that Kilmarnock won the Scottish Cup in '97, and that following season First Division Ayr United knocked them out of the competition. Killy won the Scottish Cup at the end of the season when Ayr, a second division side, put them out of the League Cup. In '99 Kilmarnock were playing in the UEFA Cup again. They drew Ayr, still a league below them, in the Scottish Cup and lost 3-0. Ayr haven't played in the top flight since '78. They've never qualified for Europe, and the closest he came was in '73 under the legendary management of Ali MacLeod. That campaign included a 1-0 win away at Kilmarnock, who were relegated just 7 days later after playing in the European Cup. The League Cup is the only major domestic trophy that Killy haven't won. Excuse me, they've lost the final 5 times, remarkably in Scotland to 5 different teams. All things past and current considered, there is slightly more chance of them beating Celtic if they made the final than there is of them beating Ayr in this semi. Yes, convoluted football logic for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Former player Brian Reid is the man currently pulling the strings at Ayr, while Irishman Kenny Shields has presided over quite a remarkable season at Rugby Park. In late November, he led Kilmarnock to their first ever home win over Rangers in the SPL, at a time when the champions were still top of the table. Last week, however, Killy suffered a 3-0 defeat as newly promoted Dunfermline gained the first ever win in the SPL at Rugby Park. Dunfermline were bottom of the table at the time and were Teddy Butcher's Inverness, when they exposed the frailties of Shields' swashbuckling style with a remarkable 6-3 win at the start of November. Glasgow, Edinburgh, Dundee and one team Aberdeen are ahead of Ayrshire in Scottish football's league table. Motherwell having won all 3 of the domestic titles, but Lanarkshire forward as the next place legion. But if intensities of local derbies is a factor, Ayrshire can sneak in front. The animosity was expressed loud and clear over the Sky microphones when the final whistle was blown in Kilmarnock's first home win over Rangers in 1994. Ayr, fuck you Ayr United, sang by the home fans. On Saturday, for the first time in Ayrshire senior football, the venue will be neutral, unlike everything else. So that's our article of interest, and that'll be something to look forward to today. If it hasn't happened already, knowing my luck, have probably kicked off now. It's 20 to 1 as I'm recording this. Anyway, we've reached the end of our daily, and we've very nearly reached the 25-minute mark. How's that? Anyway, before we let you go, we'll let you know how you can get in touch with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, link is in the description below, you can click us there. We're also on Twitter, @Club Everton is our handle, once again, link is in the description. And also we're on Google+, again, very difficult to navigate at the moment, so link is in the description for you to come and join us there. Don't forget we're also on iTunes, and for the first time ever the dailies are going on there as well, so if you're subscribed to our iTunes feed you'll get the dailies on your iTunes, and if it's synced, you also get them on your iPod, your iPhone, your iPad, or whatever I think that Apple come out with. I'm sure there's something else we mentioned as well. Oh yes, fucking hell, I keep forgetting to mention to join us on Club Everton Forum, clubeverton.co.uk/forum. That is where all the match day discussion takes place, and we'll talk about anything and everything. Mostly taking the piss out of each other though, so if you want to get involved with some of that, clubeverton.co.uk/forum is the place to go. And finally, just before we finish, Club Everton Dailies are brought to you by Hands Tours, first class away day travel, the official travel partner of clubeverton.co.uk. For more information, visit handstours.co.uk or give Hannah a ring on 077 521 21395. Alright, so that's it for today's daily. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow.